Okay, guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and JIRA analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, JIRA today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is sponsored by Postman. Postman is the world's leading API platform, trusted by 98% of the Fortune 500 and over 40 million developers. Tap into APIs from 18,000 plus companies to power agents that make smarter decisions. Learn more at postman.com/podcast/codestory. This message is sponsored by Melee Search. Today, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And Melee Search gives your users the experience they need with lightning-fast performance, full-text search, AI usage, and multimodal capabilities. Melee Search delivers relevant results in less than the blink of an eye. Use the promo code CODESTORY at checkout to get 2 months free at meleesearch.com. That's MEILI search.com.
My philosophy now is quite simple. I say there's a healthy backlog. What is a healthy backlog is a terrific thing. One big thing, what we're releasing is actually delighting the new existing users in the first place. Because people who paying you money, guys, the most important feedback. Because people who not paying the money, they can have 100 excuses why they're telling you this because they're not serious to buy. But it's a healthy backlog has 3 things. One thing, what we deliver to existing customer. One new thing, what is the top's most requested, multiple requests we hear from the future prospects. And third one, guess, this is actually the getting back our technical debt. My name is Alex Halkin. I am a CEO and founder at Computera.
This is Code Story, a podcast bringing you interviews with tech visionaries.
Spent 6 months moonlighting.
There's nothing on the back end.
Who share what it takes to change an industry.
I don't exactly know what to do next.
Took many goes to get right.
Who built the teams that have their back.
A company is its people.
The teams help each other achieve
I was
more.
proud of our team.
Keeping scalability top of mind.
All that infrastructure was a
Yes,
pain.
we've been fighting it as we grow.
Total waste of time. The stories you don't read in the headlines.
It's not an easy thing to achieve, mind
Took it
you.
off the shelf and dusted it off and tried it again.
To ride the ups and downs of the startup life.
You need to really
It's
want it.
not just about technology.
All this and more on Code Story.
I'm your host, Noah Labpart, and today how Alex Galkin is helping you to optimize your pricing based on location, lift your customer value, and reduce your costs. This episode is brought to you by Paddle. Don't settle for less when you can have more, MOR, with Paddle, your merchant of record. Eliminate the headaches of payments, grow your revenue everywhere, and focus on what you do best, building your product. Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com. This episode is brought to you by Propel. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use Propel Auth. Propel Auth is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like managed UIs, enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, Propel Auth adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When Auth is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with Propel Auth. Check them out at propelauth.com. That's propelauth.com. Alex Halkin can't remember a time where he wasn't doing tech. Funny enough, he does remember a time before internet was commonplace in the Ukraine. In 6th or 7th grade, he got a computer and immediately disassembled it, and eventually, he built an internet service provider for his community, eventually dropped out of university and sold that internet provider. But outside of tech, he has always been into sports, cycling, motorcycles, etc., and though he doesn't have much time for it anymore, he is big into Brazilian Jujitsu. At his old role, Alex started to pitch subscription pricing for the company's products. The timing wasn't right for deep machine learning for pricing, so his boss turned him down. Several years later, he and his team are leveraging the power of contextual AI to calculate and optimize price combinations. This is the creation story of Contextual AI.
Imagine this is very advanced price analyst, what usually was the consulting guy, can run price optimization on each retail store, like for reviewing the prices daily or weekly, considering 20 different factors in store, including the store location, weather, all the stuff, for like $100 a month. This is what we're building, the kind of AI what guiding the retailers and brands to optimize prices on location base. It means that they spend $100 and getting $10,000 back. For example, like we do have very cool customers, the cruise ships, the cruise liners. And before Contextual AI, this was analysts spending like hours and days. It usually is a group of the people, like 50 people, 60 people, running those Excels and considering this, we call the price elasticity, right? They try to track the dependency between historical price change and the reaction on your sales change. And this would take a lot of time, was super legacy, super inefficient, I will say. And with machine learning, that can be done much faster and easier. Right now, it's like takes a few minutes. And for these guys, we're like optimizing all those cruise ships based on the location where they're going to, like to France, to Paris. And we advising them with Excel on steroids, would recommend the optimal price position on daily or weekly basis, depends on the case. When I sold my outsourcing company, I got to this Big Four consultancy, and one of my job was to oversee a lot of operations and actually help to allocate more time to people to do some more valuable thing. Still, we're on the same mission. Like I think like machine learning can really take those challenging decisions and is a really good design for them. And can you imagine I pitched AI pricing in 2014, the same year when this OpenAI was just registered. But it was so ahead of the time, and my boss told me, like, Alex, wasn't work. Like you're killing our business. We designed for charge for hours, not for subscriptions. Honestly, he was right. It takes me 4 years to get the algorithm to the point that we can really optimize the real world, because it was more theoretically, it sounds good on the paper, but practically it was really hard to get to that point. Now, this is very deep machine learning algorithm that we call contextual machine learning. We learned a lot of context, how people iterate with your products on the store and what the business goals are. And we just advising them pricing without the need of writing those rules and use the consultants.
Let's dive into the MVP then. So the first version of Contextual you made, how long did it take to build and what sort of tools were you using to bring it to life?
First of all, imagine this is pre-vibe coding world, right? Pull out like in Ukrainian internet. I don't even know this. I never told this probably in an international podcast. No, this is like such a unique piece of content. The agreement what we done, honestly, I not started immediately when I resigned with the Big Four this project, because I see this is really data intensive thing. And of course, what is a data intensive? That's really expensive. That was insight for me that I spent 1.5 years, guys, building this kind of software that I never read any lean books from Steve Blank, etc. And I technically use this outsourcing approach, like big team, it was 40 people team, but we never show the product to the audience. And I got two great lessons from that. First of all, I run it on my own money and I paying from my own pocket for that. And when we launched, I immediately identified that marketplace is about buy and sell traffic rather than really run some complicated technology, and it require a lot of intensive funding. It was honestly on purpose that honestly don't have any more money to really fund this anymore. Of course, I decided to get back to original idea, like that, we need, honestly, it was a few signals as well in this moderation platform. One of the reasons why advertising, we can't really bring people to buy some items in the stores because they were so expensive. There was another signal for me that this problem, what I tried to solve with AI pricing, is still not solved. Yeah, and I get back to my boss and say, hey, guys, remember I pitched you this. Honestly, they don't support this idea. I actually tried. I pitched this originally. I said, look, let's build it together or I'm leaving. I will have nothing to do with you guys. I don't want to do this. And guess what they choose? Then I get back to them. It was like a year and a half or so. Say, remember I pitched this story? I can deliver for you. It will work. I know what you need. I built this kind of slide deck. It wasn't easy, guys, for the reasoning. Even I have those connections for this big organization. It's still a huge numbers of the signatures you need to get. Of course, to convince the guy to buy still was like easier sales because I have an open door already for me. And it was a story, of course, we start reach out to the customers, just interviewing them. Say, hey guys, I'm building like IX, this big four company, and researching how you guys manage the prices. Do you think this is a pain point? Of course, I asked the, hey guys, after those interview, I get like very positive feedback from like 20 interviews, like 15 was really positive about to continue conversation. And then I created some kind of form that really I can spread over more people. Honestly, I traveled to America first time, that moment when I closing this business, and I met the Steve Blank, and I still advising guys who doesn't read this 4 Step to the Epiphany book. This really cool book to have. Back to this big company saying that, look, it will work on 30,000 products, pay me like 300,000 pounds. And we agree on this deal. Of course, no one pay me upfront, nothing. They said they pay me like 10% and give me like 90 days. And my promise was that it would be live in 90 days to Mars. And guess what? The product on that day, deadline day, the product was up and running on only 300 products. That's far away from 30,000. And my game plan, this is flights from Ukraine to London takes 5 hours. And my plan was to convince my founding CTO that we will just fake in the UI this number from like 300 to 30,000. Because I know on this big demo, no one really will sneak in for the old pages, and we will figure out how we will add them more later. Presentation went well, guys, and this was actually how was expected. But then we go to celebrate. This is the day. There was 25 people in the room. They was impressed by quality, all great, etc. And no one actually asked why is it not 30,000 products. And on after party that we get this pint of beer with the ex-colleagues, etc. And there's one sneaky guy asking me, hey, Alex, I didn't recognize this is only 300 products there. Where's the rest? I say, how much money you paid? I say 10%. I say, oh, pay the rest. You will get all the rest.
Okay, guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and Jira analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, Jira today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product, potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is brought to you by Paddle. As a startup, you face unique challenges to stay competitive. You and your team need to stay focused on your product, not your payments. You need to do more, MOR, and DIY less with Paddle. Paddle is your merchant of record, becoming the seller of record for your SaaS transactions, enabling your team to focus on what's important, your product. Paddle handles all payment management across multiple gateways and methods, taking ownership of tax liability while remaining compliant with regulations across all markets. The platform handles all aspects of SaaS billing models, upgrades, add-on, trials, and more. Let's look at the results. MOR revenue optimization is built into Paddle and accounts for up to 16% higher conversion rates, reduced payment failures, localized pricing, and churn prevention, recovering 40% of cancellations. Their developer-friendly tools are API first with comprehensive documentation, removing the burden from your engineers. With Paddle as your merchant of record, you'll generate more revenue, find and keep more customers, grow faster, and stay compliant everywhere. So what are you waiting for? Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com. This episode is sponsored by Fullscale. Let me guess, your team's shipping sprint velocity looks good, but you're still asking yourself, is anyone actually thinking about the why? Matt Watson's been there. He's the founder behind Vin Solutions and Stackify, and now runs Fullscale with a 300-plus person dev team. And after 2 decades in the trenches, he's seen the same pattern over and over. Smart developers stuck in systems that reward ticket-taking instead of real thinking. That's why he wrote Product Driven, a playbook for tech leaders who are done babysitting developers and ready to build teams that own the outcome. If you're tired of translating every feature, doing all the thinking, or wondering why your smart team is still stuck, this is the fix. Go to productdriven.com/codestory to grab the book and get the bonus toolkit to help your team shift from output to outcomes, like 12 bold ways to get your retros out of robot mode. Again, that's productdriven.com/codestory. So then let's go to the build all the rest. You've got to take that, you've proven the point, you've got their attention, they're excited about it. How did you progress and mature it from there? And I'm curious about how you built your roadmap, how you went about deciding that, okay, this is the next most important thing to build or to address.
We were a small, lean team where like roles are everyone do everything. And it wasn't a kind of clear split between like CTO and me, who is like CEO, sales plus product. It wasn't like separate product manager role. And it was really painful. And honestly, still, I think that there's a toughest job in a product manager to say no to everyone. No to the customer, no to the sales team, no to internal teams on some features because you need to build the roadmap. And my philosophy now is quite simple. I said there's a healthy backlog. What is a healthy backlog is a terrific thing. One big thing, what we're releasing is actually delighting the new existing users in the first place. Because people who paying you money, guys, the most important feedback. Because people who not paying the money, they can literally had 100 excuses why they're telling you this because they're not serious to buy. That's why my features from the future customers, they're really less important. I will always prioritize this. But it's a healthy backlog has 3 things. One thing, what we deliver to existing customer. One new thing, what is the top's most requested, multiple requests we hear from the future prospects. And third one, guess, this is actually the getting back our technical debt. And honestly, no, we started as a very bootstrapped company. We were bootstrapping for years because we were profitable, and I see people still not ready to use AI for pricing. We even won like AI Summit in London in 2018, but it's like a drone delivery, right? Everyone's speaking about that, but no one using. And we are not paying well our technological debt. And there's a lot of books about this bootstrapping written, right? And even a big fan of this as a founder of the Basecamp. A real fan of them is the Shape Up technology. Actually, guys, Google it. We used a lot of stuff from this book. But what happened, that you're right, that is when your audience are growing. Guys, it was 1 year. We're like in the Christmas season where we're super reliable. People sending us requests to saying what the price should be. And we just like out of the service for day. Then second day, because we actually reached the limit of the Postgres database and numbers of the columns. But there was a few requests on the forum, like in 2001, in 2018, like where like my developers asking what to do if I reach like column limit in the table. It was fun and absolutely not fun in terms of like the customers was destroyed. That is like 3 principles. select what is matter for existing customers, what they ask, and I was really hands-on. And if I love it, by the end of the day, it's still a gut feel. I say, because you can't build what people ask, because otherwise they don't know how to ask, especially if you build some new AI tool that they can imagine, guys, they in average use like 100 Excels and 40 people. Alex coming saying, you need this one Excel right now. It was, by the way, the original version of the computer was a spreadsheet where we're sending the advice inside the spreadsheet. And then we put the design on top of the spreadsheet. And one of the customers asked him, Alex, I should pay you for spreadsheet. I say, yeah, because it's cheaper. If it will be a live product, it will be twice more expensive. I say, okay, I will give you the list of requirements. They gave me the list, and the spreadsheet, honestly, follow all the requirements. They should be shareable, secured. There's a lot of stuff. And yeah, we're just landing first customers on Google Spreadsheet.
Okay, so then I hear you saying we a lot. Tell me about how you built your team. And what do you look for in those people to indicate that they're the winning horses to join you?
Really hardest, honestly, there's a lot of books written right now, right? How to identify the product, how you interview, this Lean, Steve Blank, there's probably Godfather, all of the stuff. Like you have a lot of like papers right now on that. But the book, how to build especially founding team is not written yet. It's really hard because it's dating your founders is even harder than dating your future wife. The guy what I started with, actually, we know each other for years before I even started the company. I just came to him and say, hey, can you help me here? And I give the waiver like in a complete trust to each other. Yeah, later like another co-founder joined, and actually it was 3 of us who built the whole from the scratch because we can capable to do it all end to end. We don't rely much on anything else help. The first hire, we actually have this fun video on YouTube that is a guy still with us since our first day. He was like the IT guy on the office on top of our office. He just passing by. There was a lawyer company. He was IT guy in the legal company. He came to the office, say, hey guys, what are you doing? I say, do you know the Python? He say, no. I say, okay, do you have a laptop? He say, yes. I say, when you can start working? I say, okay, I can do it now. I say, yeah, please sit up. And he's still with us. He's right now operational director. That was hiring, like, I just know exactly what I need to do. I just need the hands. And we bootstrapped in my kind of apartments. Then it was like a small room in the consulting company, but I was also working together. Yeah. It was tough. I felt like it need to rebuild, but most important is still the founding team. The guy should work not for money, for the vision, and they need to be really enjoying the ride, because it will definitely will go not the way how you think it will go. And they need to have some resilience.
This episode is brought to you by Propel. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use Propel Auth. Propel Auth is more than just functional, it's powerful. With tools like managed UIs, enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, Propel Auth adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When auth is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with Propel Auth. Check them out at propelauth.com. That's propelauth.com. This episode is sponsored by MailySearch. In today's digital landscape, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And you need a user experience that drives customer satisfaction. You need MailySearch. MailySearch is lightning fast performance, returning answers in less than 50 milliseconds. Yeah, you heard that right. Faster than the blink of an eye. The open source AI search engine is plug and play, so you can get up and running in minutes with smart presets, allowing you to start searching through your data with zero configuration. MailySearch utilizes advanced full-text search and AI, ensuring your results are ultra-relevant with semantic depth. It's multimodal, supporting images, videos, and audio, along with being federated, i.e. searching across multiple data sources. And it's developer-friendly. Whether you're building a content-rich website or enterprise application, MailySearch delivers the experience your users expect and deserve. For a limited time, CodeStory users can get 2 months free. Use the promo code CODESTORY, all one word, at checkout. Just go to MailySearch.com and get started today. That's MEILI search.com. Okay, so let's flip to scalability. This will be interesting. I'm curious where scale was factored in as far as technology or people or anything really. And has there been interesting areas where you've had to fight it as you've grown?
Yeah, no, you know that I think the scale is coming alongside with your success. And as my advice for all the founders, not to overbuild. I know a lot of founders as us, for example, techie founders, like I have a computer science and medtech science diploma, like I ran machine learning in 2005 first time. We love to build the code because for us, easier to write the code rather than to speak with the customers because it's easier. As I mentioned, if I wish I will redo something, in a certain point when you feel that is audiences resonate, people stick with your product, you find this use case and people continue returning to your platform, this is exactly the time that you need to think to build in a parallel your own software, but in the more scalable way. For example, as you know, that maybe it's like in this code story, right? A lot of coders telling me it still fights between this monolith versus microservices, right? Architecture. And I still like big fan of if you are on the stage like 0 to 1 million, this monolith is absolutely cool stuff to have. But you need to detect in a certain point to start building these microservices that help you to scale. You will need to double resources. What is my mistake was that we really think that this bootstrap mode we can fly, and because you always prioritize probably money against the investment, right, to keep it like EBITDA positive, etc. And I wish to hire some people earlier than later at a certain point, but it was really hard to guess. Oh, it's capable from your customer, from few more customers. They're always putting back to the backlog some kind of complicated stuff, what not really applicable to your P&L tomorrow. I still think this is a good thing to do, honestly. But my CTO probably will disagree with that. Yeah.
Okay, so as you step out on the balcony and you look across all that you've built with Comterra specifically, what are you most proud of?
I think maybe the people who come together, that I still feel like we're like everyone who is building the code is very similar like to writing the music. It should be a specific mood for that, and it's all intelligent work. And if you not create such an environment where it's a people-first environment, you'll just not be able to really surround yourself with very smart people who like much, much smarter than you. And I think this is best accomplishment we have today. And of course, honestly, we're originally from Ukraine is a kind of our internal thing. I was saying like we want to build a software what honestly will be owned by multiple big brands across the whole world, and it will be built out of Ukraine. And we will never hide that we are Ukrainians. Because I don't know how, but historically, a lot of cool founders out of Ukraine never mentioned that they are Ukrainians. And I said, okay, guys, we will be famous. And I know it's hard. We build enterprise. Probably it will be some trust reasons, but we will always be Ukrainian. This is like our internal mission was to build the software. So right now, I'm super proud that we have those Fortune 500 companies using us. And we are still has a majority of our team in Ukraine.
Alex, let's flip the script a little bit. Tell me about a mistake you made and how you and your team responded to it.
One of the maybe top mistake what I used to have that then I know the statistical fact right now, you know that number one is actually second reason why startup fails is actually running out of the cash. And if you double click on that, this is actually premature growth. A lot of companies raising the money, and the industry is designed like that. On early their success, and they just don't want how to spend it. I just recently look at the Lovable CEO, just write, 20 people team getting like $20 million in IRR. Now they 400 people, just less than a year. Can you imagine organization-wise what it means? That people doesn't know each other. There's like really hard to align, really hard to get this. And my advice is like be small as long as you can. And we got our funding, and I opened office like in Singapore, in London, in America. Like in 2019, when I definitely know the AI pricing is still far away from the adoption. We even now feel this is now is the time. It was because ChatGPT, because there's all this adoption. But can you imagine me spending like millions of the dollars hiring the 3-4 people in different countries? I never done it before. And because investors like get the money and not spend it, the same issue that actually take and spend it wrong. They're forcing you to do it. It's probably my biggest mistake. I think we should be more lean and focus on the mission and not rush the scale or like kind of some reason that you can execute. This is also 100% true. Maybe your company is growing with the speed of your ability to hire smart people. If you really bad on hiring and the people really resign with you in 2-3 months, or you looking for them really slow, you will not able to scale. It doesn't matter how much money in your pocket. One day we built some report that cost us like $20,000, then no one was using this, or that Microsoft Copilot, for example, total fail, or Facebook metaverse, $10 billion, or Alexa, $8 billion investment is like going nothing. And we was regretting, what we should do next, blah, blah. Now we're like doing some experiment that cost us like $100,000. And they say, okay, fine, we tested this. What was wrong? Let's learn from that. As soon as you build this engine, if you do small experiments and can learn from that, you will minimize. But this is now we're not counting mistakes. And actually, we are having this kind of, even now in the Grand Demo event, is every 6 weeks, we do this huge event where across all the hands-on meeting for the team, we have a slide what I'm putting together, fail of the run. We call it fail of the run. In each department showing this fail of the run, it was not such a, we have this fail board as very cool. And now, after like years, there's nothing to show on this board because the process is designed the way that we can't really fail that much that we need to really retrospective on the whole company level.
Let's look into the future then, Alex. Tell me what the future looks like for Comtera, for the product, for the team, for all the things.
Right now is a very excited time now. You see this AI adoption is everywhere. We finally are getting like very cool questions on our PEs. This is a procurement procedure when they're buying software. Before, like I feel like we're selling flying cars where people looking for the horses. Now this is getting to the right point, and we actually, the company who is ready, who already have those case studies and the technology, and we're going to scale across the whole market. We're putting together our Series A. We still actually, that when I moved to Bay Area, when I show our metrics, I can mention this here, but most of them are saying, Alex, you're like too big you're like a teenager. You're too big for small funds and you're too small for the big funds. We actually skip our Series A with like Series B company right now, but we never raised Series A. And yeah, I want to raise money from smart investors, and I want to put together some like more people on the marketing and sales side. And we're adopting our algorithm to the new industries. I'm super excited like to go after the new industries, and we're building called artificial general pricing intelligence. What like gas stations can start using us, restaurant services, rental companies, etc. That is actually spreading our algorithm to the new industries. Like probably any company on our size considering to doing, because you need to go to the new verticals at a certain point.
Alex, to switch to you. Who influences the way that you work? Name a person or many persons or something you look up to and why.
This, as I mentioned, probably the most brain-changing person for me was Steve Blank. If who doesn't know this guy, please follow. This is if you're just starting your business, this is something what you really need to think about. I don't really, there's a lot of people asking me who you cosplaying, right? You need to have your kind of, some practice saying, you need to have your avatar, right? What you see the guy and you enjoy. I don't have this. I can have like some composite people, what I really rely on. Of course, honestly, I know that is a controversial, but the way how Elon Musk think, I heard his vision on that to make the planet cross humanity, cross planet race, right? That allows him to bring most geek people in the world, most talented people. They're not driven by money. They're driven by vision and the problem what they want to solve. This is what I take this from him. I feel like Bezos, very smart guy. I really love how he's, by the way, in my personal opinion, he's more techy than Elon. He's like just a hidden guy. Yeah, I'm just following very smart guys, see how they think, what they think, and just build your own story. I don't have a kind of one person what I really love and someone like helped me on the communication side. The most iconic CEO right now in Bay Area, Jensen Huang, right? The CEO of NVIDIA. Just imagine, last presentation this year, he ran 3-hour speech himself, remembering all aspects, all the technology, everything what they deliver. No one, you see the Tim Cook just passing mic, got 2 scripts and then passing mic to another guy, that another guy, passing mic to another guy. This guy ran the longest personal CEO presentation on the stage with very tech details of each product what they shipped by himself in one shot. That's impressive. Like, this is my probably iconic CEO right now, if you ask me.
Alex, last question. So you're getting on a plane and you're sitting next to a young entrepreneur who's built the next big thing. They're jazzed about it. They can't wait to show it off to the world and can't wait to show it off to you right there on the plane. What advice do you give that person, having gone down this road a bit?
The things will get wrong. It will definitely go not that way that you plan. Just be ready for that. And this is why it comes second point that you should be passionate enough to solve this problem, because otherwise you will not survive. Third one is actually having the great co-founder. I really appreciate my founding team. This my two co-founders. This is so stressful. Even computer is not my first business, but there's a lot of stuff new. And you need to have someone. I don't really believe in a solo entrepreneur. I think you can be a solo entrepreneur if you past 40 years old or so. If you're this first business, You need to have, if you like have this core product thing, then you need a CTO. Or if you're building something B2C, you need to have this, and you're a marketing guy, you need someone technical. Or if you technical, you need to have someone who can sell it. This stuff like that. And maybe last, don't try to apply the technology to the problem. I see a lot of founders really build something like just cool as a technology and then trying to find a problem to solve. I know it's my perspective, but so many founders really trying to apply the technology to the problem, not opposite. Like problem should go first. And people needs to, why always if they sit behind me, for my question is, how many people you really spoke with about this problem? Say, for example, it was a recent story. I flew from America to Europe, and the guy trying to build the analytical tool for YouTubers. The YouTube analytics is very sad in terms of what you can get from those engagement audience, etc. And for example, let's take Noah podcast. All these podcast platforms, they give you very silly analytics, right? The level of engagement, etc. Of course, this is more advanced way to analyze the videos or podcasts from the audience to get much more insights. Yeah, and I said, hey, how many people really you did spoke with? And he said, Alex, you know what? I just all 2 weeks what I done, I spoke with 300 people. Like I have those bloggers who doing this professionally, and I asked about the problem. Even though their pricing plan starts from $299 or something like that, they really go and speak with the people. Love the problem. Have a good co-founders backing you, because it definitely will go not that way that you think. And third one, just find the problem first, then they build a product.
Well, that's fantastic advice. Well, Alex, thank you for being on the show today, and thank you for telling the creation story of Comptera.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you for inviting, and I really love your podcast.
And this concludes another chapter of Code Story. Code Story is hosted and produced by Noah Labhart. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcasting app of your choice. And when you get a chance, leave us a review. Both things help us out tremendously. And thanks again for listening.